Welcome to my review of the Downton Abbey movie directed by Michael Engler and written by the creator of the original show, Julian. And of course, we follow the continuous story of an aristocratic family in early 1920s England on a very specific weekend of their life where they're about to receive the King and Queen of England. Now, of course, this is based on a very famous drama that ran for 6 seasons. I was actually watching the show right before the movie came out. I went to see it yesterday, and I was early into the 3rd season of the show, so I didn't know everything until the end, and I did get some things spoiled for me, as you would expect. But I think it's safe to say that you are very safe to go into this film without ever watching a single episode. It does spoil some things for you, but other things, it doesn't even reference them. So I think you have a good time even if you are going to watch the show after the film. And that means both good and bad things. You follow most of the original characters, at least those that are still on the show, and they kinda do exactly what you expect them to do. And from a certain point of view, that can actually be very good. There aren't big surprises. And again, that's not necessarily bad. This places the characters where they are at this moment in time, and it makes sense for these people to say these things, do these things, and act in the certain way they do in the film. And you enjoy watching it because the characters are still true to who they were originally in the show, and the film doesn't feel in any way different or that it comes from someplace else or like a fan interpretation of who these people are, instead of being true to who they always have been. And you can almost call it Downton Abbey 2.0. It feels broader, it feels bigger, quite literally, and in terms of the pacing, in terms of beats in the film, it feels quite more well polished and well punctuated throughout. But it can also feel routinely, and that's why I also think the show wasn't for everyone. This is just basically a slice of life type of show, and in this very specific weekend, it's kind of a big deal that they have to receive the King and Queen, and you serve the servants, the butler, the footman, the housemaids, and then you follow the main family, of course. It gives everyone a little thing to do throughout the film, and I think you can get out of it satisfied, but at the same time it doesn't feel any different than the original show. The show had Christmas specials, which for English TV shows are like a big deal, and they matter canonically, and they almost feel like movies themselves. They are 90, 100 minutes long each. This film is 2 hours and in many ways feels like just another special episode. It doesn't feel like it brings a lot of finality, it just feels like it continues that story, and after this film, it will continue to go on. Sometimes you may even feel that the dramas or mysteries that start in this film are already resolved even before they come up in conversations. One thing that I really liked was that every scene was interesting. Every scene feels like somebody has hidden a bomb in the room and they have to find it, and you want to know who finds it and how they defuse it. So it's always interesting in that sense, but it kind of feels like the same thing you've seen in the show, and after a while the same thing you've seen in the film. There are love stories, there are dramas going on, there are discussions about real estate and whatnot, and inheritance, and everyone does a good job. Everyone does a spectacular job. Everyone you knew from the show, everyone who's new to this story, to this environment is spectacular. There are no standout performances, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I think everyone does the job that you'd expect them to do. Not to mention that the film is adorned with spectacular set design and gorgeous, jaw-dropping cinematography throughout, from the ball to the dining rooms. But the characters are rich as well in terms of characterization, and they embellish everything that you're watching. A special mention to Kevin Doyle, who plays Mr. Mosley, and he's spectacular. This film has laughs, it has emotional scenes, and it's just fine on its own. Yes, it does feel like a continuation of the show and nothing really big to go into the silver screen, but I don't think that's necessarily just a bad thing. I'm giving the Downton Abbey movie a B. Now, what did you think of the Downton Abbey movie, my beautiful geekies? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you've ever seen the show, if you're a longtime fan, if you've just started watching it like me, and I still plan on finishing the show even after I watch the movie. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. I'll be back with a review for the farewell tomorrow. I hope to see you there. So until then, stay beautiful, stay geeky, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe because it really helps me out. Until tomorrow, love each other and love the movies.